Hello, women helping women entrepreneurs. My name is Joanne Flynn Black, and this is my first ever live video within this group. And I'm excited to be here. I've watched so many of your videos and have been inspired of what I see. And I wanted to share a little bit about facing fear of getting out there, fear of launching, um, the fear of being visible, and I want to talk to you a little bit um, about first about my story really quickly, and then talk to you about I polled my community and asked them, what is your biggest fear of launching? What is holding you back from getting out there? And I have some good results. So if you're here, maybe you could just write in the comments where you're coming in from. I'd love to. I'd love to know that of who's watching it at 9:45 Eastern and the East Coast, and wherever in the world you are. So let me tell you a little bit about my backstory quickly. And so I founded a company this during this pandemic called Launch Before, and the idea is launch before you're ready, launch before you're comfortable, launch before everything feels perfect. All right, because when is everything going to feel perfect? Like, honestly, never. And my story is I had this great idea for a course and I said, I'm going to make a course. And this was 2 year, flashback 2 years ago. So I went and I researched all the best course platforms. I was checking out Teachable and Kajabi and Udemy and Thinkific, all of them, right? And then I was like, which is the best microphone? And I was, doing all the research on the right tech and the best lighting and all the things. And honestly, what was happening is months and months and months were passing by. And the people who knew I was launching a course were like, "Hey, did you launch your course yet?" And I was like, well, I'm waiting because I'm just about to choose the right software platform, and I always had an excuse. And then, it came down to I figured out what was the right course platform for me. That was a platform called Mighty Networks. And I figured out what was the best microphone for me, and that was the Blue Yeti microphone. And I figured it all out. And so one of my friends she was following me on this journey and knew how long it was going to take, or how long it had been taking. And she said, "What? How come you're not? Didn't you launch yet?" And I ran through all my list of excuses, and I said, "Well, I'm a little bit fearful because what if people don't like the way I talk and my accent?" Because I'm New York, New Jersey, a little bit of California put in there, and and she was just like shaking her head. Like, are you kidding me, Joanne? Like that's what you're gonna come up with now? And if I really was being honest, I was just fearful of putting myself out there. So and by the way, I said that comment about my accent, and right then I got served up something about Marie Forleo's book, Everything is Figure Outable. And if you're familiar with her, she has a very thick New Jersey accent, and she owns it, and she's all, very confident in her accent. So I said, well, I can't have that excuse. So anyway, in the pandemic, I founded this company, Launch Before, and I said, I'm gonna work with women and help them get through their fear of launching because that's what I just live with. Um, so I did create a course and I did deliver it live. And was I fearful? Was I scared? Sure. Am I scared right now? Absolutely. But you know what? I'm just putting myself out there, right? Because you need to. So let me step back. I want to see if you could put in the comments. I'm not seeing any comments, so I don't know if they're not coming in or no one's commenting. But um, what is your biggest fear of launching or putting yourself out there? If you can just, type out a quick, what one thing um, are you fearful of putting yourself out there? So I'll tell you, I pulled my community and I said, look, I'm going live in a group with 420,000 or so women. Um, and I'm going to be talking about fear and what's your fear. So I'll tell you what they said. Um, here's and you can tell me if you're relating to any of this, if any of these fears are like, yes, I have that fear. So a big one that bubbled to the top, probably I would say at the top was um, they don't think they could handle rejection. And I think that's where I was. Well, what if I put my course out there and no one wants it? Then what does that mean about me? Does that mean I'm a bad person? Um, maybe let me know if you relate to that one. That was definitely at the top. Another big one, um, what will my friends and family think? Okay, so what will they think? I had that one. They know me as, Joanne Flynn Black. I work in corporate America. I help big companies implement big systems. They don't know me as a course creator, helping women face their fears. But I said, I don't care. Honestly, um, they will either support me or they won't. And you know what? It's okay. All right. Some people, I'll share a little story when I was launching that other course that I talked to you about 2 years ago, launching, which, of course, the story. I never launched it. Um, I put together a landing page and I shared it with three of my best friends. I was like, these are my best friends, and they're gonna be like, "Go, Joanne! I'm really excited for you." And two of them were, and they were like, "Yay! We're so happy for you. That's great." And then the other person said, "Is there really a market for this? Is anyone gonna pay you for this?" And I was like, "Oh." Oh, no, maybe that person's right. And it really set me back. And now when I look at it, I realize how ridiculous that was. That was just one person's opinion. Um, and I shouldn't have let it set me back, but I did. So anyway, I'm walking through that fear. Um, another thing that people have told me is imposter imposter syndrome. Um, who am I to teach, fill in the blank? Um, what do I know that I can teach this? But honestly, um, that's a big one. That is really a big one. And I have seen you just need to know a little bit more than the people who are taking your course. Let's say you're teaching about decluttering, for example. I don't know if you're familiar with, there's a woman, um, she wrote the book Decluttering at the Speed of Light. And um, she talks about her story. And basically, what's her credential? She decluttered her house. And so she was one step ahead of everyone else, right? And who was she to write a book about decluttering? She was, in her own words, a slob. She wrote the blog, a slob comes clean. And so she was just one step ahead of anyone who was, reading that book or listening to her on the Audible. Um, I'll tell you another story about like walking through fear. So someone in my community who I helped launch a course, she she was super she got super pumped up, right? She said, "I'm gonna launch this course in 5 weeks." And she put it together and she had her landing page and she had all her content. She had like each chapter, like she was going to put 6 things in each chapter, and she was about 90% done. It was like we were at the finishing touches, and she was going to include poems that were related to the chapters in each lesson. And then she found out, I don't know, she did some research and found out, well, you can't really use a poem without getting author's approval. I don't remember the exact thing, but she couldn't, she was being blocked from adding the poems. And you know what she said? That's it. I'm not going to do the course. I'm done. I can't put the poem in. I'm not going to do the course. And I said to her, "Wait, are you kidding me? Like, you did all that work. You have 5 of the 6 things, and you're gonna let this poem uh, issue stop you from putting the course out like that? Yes, I know you put a lot of work into selecting the poems, but it's not that important, really. You have the other things." And now I literally like held her hand, from online, right? We were on Zoom and just having a heart to heart, and it's like I helped her walk through that fear. I said, "Is it really the poem, or are you feeling scared? Are you feeling scared about putting yourself out there?" And, it took her a while, but she realized that it wasn't the poem, right? It was just her fear. Um, so I helped her get past that. So, think about your excuses you come in to your mind. So similarly to my excuse of people are going to hate my voice and they're not going to want to watch a course from me. That was just an excuse, right? That was my fear of putting myself out there. So I want you to ask yourself, and if you want to put it in the comments, what is holding you back? What is your poem, right? What is the one thing that you're saying, well, I can't, you know, I can't have the poem, so I can't launch. Or, I'm afraid people are going to hate my voice, so I can't launch. Or I didn't decide on the right learning platform, so I can't launch. So just, I really would like you to think about that. Um, and another big one I want to cover is, the I'm not ready yet, right? Does anyone have that? I'm not ready. I'll be ready when I, fill in the blank, when I find the right microphone. Um, the funny thing about this is with the microphone is, I finally, after all this research I did, right? I needed to do that much research. Right now, I'm not even using a microphone. I'm just using my AirPods. I hope it's clear. Um, so the story about the microphone is I finally decide on this Blue Yeti mic and I order it. And so, okay, I'm waiting for it to come. So I can't do my videos yet because I'm waiting for the microphone to come. So it arrives. Oh, yay. Okay, the microphone arrived. Now I'm ready to do my course. So I'm carrying this microphone. And if you know the Blue Yeti, it's like this big. I mean, the box is like that big. I'm carrying it around wherever I go. I'm like, I'm just about to launch my course. And I think if I take it with me, um, I'll probably record. I don't want to be without the microphone because, then I'll have this excuse of not having the microphone. So here I am schlepping around, my computer and my microphone. And guess what? I never used it. I hooked it up, I practiced, um, but I didn't use it. I never launched, at that time. Um, so think about, what's your microphone? What's your poem? What's your microphone? Um, and talk to someone about it. I mean, I know that I think if I didn't work with that woman about the poem with the poem, she probably wouldn't have. She would have said, "Nope, no poem. That's it. I am giving up my course," and she wouldn't have a course. But we talked, and I held her hand through Zoom, a virtual hand hold, and we walked through that fear together. So maybe you have a friend like that. Um, it's a funny thing because you want someone close to you, someone who will hold your hand virtually or in real life and help you walk through that fear. But maybe you don't want something so close to you, someone so close to you because uh, fear of them not being so supportive. So I feel like choose that friend wisely, that like that one person who is going to have your back. Um, think about who that is. Um, I have another story for you. So if you see my background, it's a little messy. I realize that. I need to I need to do a little like organizing of it myself. And I did put myself out there and I reached out um to um this fabulous course creator on the platform Thinkific. Some of you might know her. It's Sarah Cordinaire. And I said, this was in one of my moments of I'm going to put myself out there. And in this sudden burst of excitement, I wrote to her and I said, Sarah, I would like to do a side by side comparison of Thinkific, which she's a big proponent of, and Mighty Networks, which is where I have my course, and just compare them and see, it's going to be different for everyone. There's really no better, right? It's what is better for you. For me, community was really important, so I chose Mighty Networks. Um, for what she's doing, Thinkific was the best choice. So it's not, which one is better. So anyway, I reach out to her and I say, hey, would you want to do side with comparison, and we could share it with our communities? And guess what? She said yes. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I need to do that. So I work with her assistant and we get on the schedule. And she's in Australia. So we did it like late at night, my time, early in the morning, her time. And I'm in this same setup. And if you can see, I have a hula hoop back there. And at the last minute, I'm like looking around my office, like, oh, what can I move to make it less cluttered? I want to have a clean background. And I was thinking about moving the hula hoop, and I didn't. I left it in. I said, you know what? It kind of shows a little bit about my personality. Well, guess what? She posted the video on YouTube, and we got a comment, the first comment, and it was from B. Varga, the hula hooper. And she said, wow, that's so great that you guys did. I love that you shared that. And I see a hula hoop in the background. And since then, she's in Latvia, which we had a Zoom call, and she's part of my community, and we talked through it. So it's just an example of, it's okay to put yourself out there. Um, so anyway, I want to end with I'm not seeing any comments, so I don't know if they're not coming through or no one's commenting. Um, but I want to end with this thought. Think about, what is the one thing, the one big thing that you're facing that is holding you from coming back or coming out, launching, putting yourself out there. Think about that one thing, write it down, and face that fear and find someone to um, to be there for you. That I think that would be, the biggest thing if I could like leave this live, knowing that, someone is facing their fear and someone's walking through it. I know that would make me, pretty excited. Um, I do have a Facebook group. It's called Launch Before, launch the letter B and the number four. Um, I do also have my paid community. It's on Mighty Networks, and I'll share the URL in the comments after this video. Um, but surrounding yourself. I know for me, being surrounded by a very supportive community is really key because, I was sitting alone 2 years ago working on all this stuff. And honestly, I didn't really get so far, from all the fears. I didn't have a community of um, a group of women or, who were also similar, like this group, Women Helping Women. I mean, lots of people are helping each other, supporting each other. So, that's part of what I do in my community and be there for each other, and we're there for the ups and the downs. I think that it's great when people are like, great, I launched my course, I'm super excited. But honestly, the more impactful ones are, I'm feeling stuck, right? I'm scared. I'm scared to put myself out there. And, those are the ones that, as part of the community, we have co-working and co-learning sessions, and we're really there to support each other. So anyway, thank you for joining. And I'm going to put all that info in the comments when this is done. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff I talked about, I'll happily help you. And I'm really excited that you watched my first Women Helping Women go live. So thanks so much. Bye, everyone.